Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to move on now to the Urbana City Council meeting. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Barnes? Mr. Bowersox?
Here.
Ms. Chenoweth?
Present.
Mr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Mr. Smythe? Ms. Stevenson? Mayor Pressing?
Here. Now, we have an amended agenda. I'd like to ask the clerk, was this sent out 2 days in advance, or do we need to amend the... Okay, so we're okay with this one. The addition is to act on the Brick House subdivision. Okay, first, we're going to look at the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Roberts. Is there a second to approve the minutes? Second by Mr. Smythe. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Are there any additions to the agenda? Did you want to say something, Mr. Roberts?
I know there should be. I should be saying something. I'm not sure what it's going to be. So you didn't ask me about that. So let me think what that is. Is it the Brick House?
No, that was already added to
Okay,
the amended
all right.
agenda, and that was sent out 2 days in advance, so we're covered. We don't, but this is just in case somebody has something they desperately want to talk about. We can't take action on it, but we could talk about it. Okay. Petitions and communications, anyone in the audience who would like to address the Urbana City Council? Okay. Let's move on to
Mayor?
old business.
Couple quick.
Okay, Mr. Smythe.
Just want to remind people that leaf collection has begun this week on your regular day of recycling. There is a electronics recycling event coming up April 21st. Details are on the city webpage for both programs.
Okay, thank you. Under old business, we have ordinance number 2007-01-003, an ordinance to repeal section 13-3 of the planned unit developments of the zoning ordinance of the city of Urbana, Illinois, and to adopt a reinstatement or restatement? Reinstatement of section 3-3?
13.3.
Excuse me, 13-3. Planned unit development of the zoning ordinance of the city of Urbana, Illinois. And I think we have Paul Lindahl. No report on this. Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Smythe, second by Mr. Lewis. Any further discussion?
I just want to thank staff and others for their work on getting this all put together.
It took a while, but I think we got it right.
Yep.
Okay. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bowersox?
Yes.
Ms. Chenoweth?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
Okay, the ordinance carries, is passed. All right, now moving on to ordinance number 2007-03-029, an ordinance approving a combined preliminary and final subdivision plat for Brick Houses Road subdivision. Now, the petitioner has asked that this be sent to the council on April 16th. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Lewis, seconded by Mr. Smythe. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we'll have it on the 16th. I believe we have any reports of standing committees or special committees. Are there any reports of officers?
We have an economic development report for the month, last month.
Okay.
Do you have a question, Brandon?
Evening. Do have this month's economic development report. Just to highlight a few items, we did have 2 ribbon cuttings this month for businesses at the 5 Points Commerce Center, Ethnic Expressions, and A Cut Above. There is some renovation work going on at the former Ned Kelly's Restaurant, which will be reopening as a steakhouse. There was an announcement that Carl is looking to do a major expansion in the range of $120 to $150 million investment in their campus. They will be coming before council to discuss their plans, as well as discuss some of the items that they'll need from the city to make the project possible. And also the Point at the University of Illinois, which is the project at Philo Road and Florida Avenue, is moving forward with construction. The buildings are going up, and that project's moving along, and the commercial component is going to be the next that starts there. We've just received some marketing materials marketing the commercial component, so that'll be a nice project for the Philo Road Business Corridor. That's all I wanted to highlight. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, I do have copies of the report that I will make sure everybody gets before they leave tonight.
I do. I have a question.
Mr. Roberts?
And I'm not sure if this will be, Tom, for you or maybe somebody else on staff. The Carl campus is expanding, and I know they had a public meeting, and I wasn't able to attend that one, and I just wondered if there was an overview or is there a summary that might be useful for the city council to receive from that, basically tells what they presented at the meeting for those who didn't attend. I was sort of sorry not to see the details of it.
Okay, Libby Tyler?
Thank you. They should be presenting basically the same information at an upcoming council meeting. We think April 9th, but that's not confirmed yet.
Okay, so there won't be anything that we're not going to be aware of.
Pardon?
There's nothing we need to be aware of at this time. We'll just wait for their presentation.
Yeah, other than what was announced in the newspaper, and I'd be happy to share any notes I took, but it wasn't filmed or anything like that.
Right.
But they will have essentially the same PowerPoint presentation for City Council coming up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And they do have another neighborhood meeting coming up where they're going to be talking about the effect of their project on housing prices and relocation.
Property taxes as well.
And property taxes. So if you have a chance to come to that one, you can ask some questions directly of them then, too. Okay, thank you, Libby. Any other reports of officers? Well, thank you, Tom Carino, our Economic Development Director. Okay, we're down to new business, ordinance number 2007-04-033, an ordinance approving and causing publication of the official zoning map of the city of Urbana, Illinois. And Paul Lindahl is here to explain that one.
Good evening. This draft zoning map reflects cases that were reviewed and approved by Plan Commission and City Council throughout the course of the past year. It includes annexation changes, zoning district changes, subdivisions, and certificates of exemption that have already taken effect. The Plan Commission voted 6-0 to forward the map to City Council with a recommendation for approval. In the past year, we've had 6 annexations, 6 rezonings that were attributed to reasons other than annexation. We've had 19 subdivisions in the city limits and in the ETJ, plus 3 other subdivisions were applied for, 2 of which have now been recorded, but are not reflected on the map. And another one, which is Brickhouses Road, which is still waiting. We also have 2 certificates of exemption that were approved in the last year. Those are an administrative procedure that's approved by the Director of Community Development and the city engineer. So without much more ado, staff and the Urbana Plan Commission recommend approval of the zoning map.
Okay, is there a motion? Okay, I think Mr. Smythe got there first.
That's excellent.
Motion by Mr. Smythe, seconded by Mr. Roberts. Are there any questions or additional comments? Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Bowersox?
Yes.
Ms. Chenoweth?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis? Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Okay, that ordinance is approved. Finally, appointments by the mayor to the Urbana Plan Commission. I'm recommending Tyler Fitch for a term expiring June 30th, 2009, and to the Design Review Board, Ben Grosser, for a term to expire June 30th, 2010. There's some discussion about what the actual name of that board is, but let's go with Design Review Board until I can figure out if it's a different name. Here's Libby Tyler to explain this.
It is definitely the Development Review Board.
Okay, we didn't have our, we had minutes, but they didn't show what the rationale was. Can you tell me what the rationale is for changing the name?
Well, it has always been the Development Review Board, and it's referenced in our zoning ordinance, so it's important to have that name. And it used to be a staff committee and became a committee with appointments a few years back, and it's a board that looks specifically at site plans in the MOR district, and that review does include design, but many other things as well. So it is Development Review Board.
Okay, would you be willing to amend your motion to change the title?
Okay.
The second?
Yes.
Okay, we'll have
Totally
Ben
acceptable.
Grosser be appointed to the Development Review Board. All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, they're appointed. Mr. Roberts.
I would just like to congratulate the City Council on making such excellent appointments. I personally know Tyler Fitch. He'll do an excellent job on the Planning Commission, and I'm very pleased that he's being appointed.
Thank you. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.